It was the battle that changed the course of history. A clash between two superpowers, Rome and Carthage, where legendary generals Hannibal and Scipio Africanus faced off in a fight to the death. It was the final act of a war that had spanned nearly 2 decades, an epic showdown that would decide the fate of the ancient world. But how did it come to this? How did Hannibal, the genius who terrorized Rome for years, find himself on the defensive? What tactics did Scipio use to outmaneuver one of history's greatest military minds? And most importantly, how did the Battle of Zama seal the fate of Carthage forever? This is the story of the Battle of Zama, a battle of strategy, deception, and brutal warfare. A moment in time where two of the greatest generals in history fought not just for victory, but for the survival of their civilizations. Prepare for an unforgettable journey into one of the most decisive battles of the ancient world. The Battle of Zama, 202 BCE, was the decisive engagement of the Second Punic War, which spanned from 218 to 201 BCE between Rome and Carthage. It marked the final confrontation between Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general who had terrorized Italy for over a decade, and Scipio Africanus, the Roman general who had turned the tide of the war. The battle took place near Zama, in what is now Tunisia, and resulted in a decisive Roman victory, leading to Carthage's surrender and the end of the war. After years of fighting in Italy, Hannibal had suffered losses but remained undefeated on the battlefield. However, Rome adapted its strategy, attacking Carthaginian interests elsewhere. In 204 BCE, Scipio Africanus launched an invasion of North Africa, forcing Carthage to recall Hannibal from Italy. Scipio had already proven himself by capturing Carthago Nova in Spain and defeating Carthaginian forces at the Battle of Ilipa in 206 BCE, effectively eliminating Carthage's power in Iberia. Once in Africa, Hannibal attempted to negotiate peace, but Rome demanded unconditional surrender. With negotiations failing, both armies prepared for battle. Roman army, led by Scipio Africanus, consisted of an estimated 35,000 to 40,000 soldiers. The legions were composed of experienced Roman infantry and cavalry. Allied Numidian cavalry, led by Massinissa, provided a crucial advantage. They employed a strategic formation designed to counter Carthage's war elephants. The Carthaginian army, led by Hannibal Barca, was estimated to number between 40,000 and 50,000 soldiers. It was a diverse force comprising veteran troops from Italy, mercenaries, and Carthaginian citizen soldiers. Hannibal deployed around 80 war elephants at the front, hoping to break the Roman lines. However, his cavalry was inferior, lacking the crucial Numidian support after Massinissa allied with Rome. As the battle commenced, Hannibal unleashed his war elephants to disrupt the Roman lines. Scipio, anticipating this move, had prepared by leaving gaps in his ranks, allowing the elephants to pass through and be neutralized. The Roman trumpets also played a crucial role, panicking some elephants and causing them to stampede back into Carthaginian lines. Next, the Numidian cavalry, now fighting for Rome, engaged and overwhelmed Carthage's outnumbered horsemen. This proved decisive as the Numidians chased the enemy cavalry off the battlefield. Hannibal's first 2 lines, mercenaries and less experienced troops, fought bravely but eventually broke under Roman pressure. His veteran troops from Italy, positioned at the rear, then engaged in a brutal fight with the disciplined Roman legions. As the battle reached its climax, the Roman and Numidian cavalry returned to the battlefield, attacking Hannibal's veterans from the rear. Surrounded and outnumbered, the Carthaginian army ultimately collapsed. In the aftermath, Carthage suffered massive casualties and Hannibal barely escaped. With no more forces left to fight, Carthage was compelled to sue for peace. Rome imposed harsh terms, including the surrender of Carthage's fleet and all overseas territories. Additionally, a war indemnity was to be paid over 50 years, and Carthage could not wage war without Roman permission. These terms effectively reduced Carthage to a minor power, paving the way for Roman dominance in the Mediterranean. Following his victory, Scipio earned the title Africanus, commemorating his triumph. Hannibal, on the other hand, later served in exile, aiding enemies of Rome before his eventual suicide in 183 BCE. The defeat at Zama ensured Rome's rise as the leading power of the ancient world, setting the stage for later conflicts, including the Third Punic War from 149 to 146 BCE, which led to Carthage's total destruction. The Battle of Zama stands as one of history's most decisive battles, showcasing tactical brilliance, strategic adaptation, and the beginning of Rome's imperial expansion.